Looked down over our balcony, our porch, the water was right there, 12, 13 feet high.
Yeah.
But it was dark outside. We could see how high the water was, but we couldn't see what was in it. Just imagine what the hell was in that water.
You don't want to know.
You know,
Yeah.
if I would have fallen from up there, I would have been dead. But Galveston is quiet now. It's real quiet. Nobody's here. Nobody's here.
Galveston is an island off the coast of Texas. They say that islanders have salt water in our veins. You know, we're set aside from the rest of the world. Born and raised on an island, it's a completely different atmosphere from big city life. If you look upon our Gulf side, almost from one end to the other, it's towered with hotels, with restaurants, with the pleasure pier that Tillman Fertitta created. Just nothing but activities to have people who live inland to come and enjoy. Like most cities across the United States, big or small, gang violence had taken its toll on Galveston Island. We're told don't go on the north side of Broadway between 26 and 46 after dark. It was rough. After Ike, that element has not had a chance to be reborn. The areas between 26 and 46 have been cleaned up immensely.
They declared martial law after 6 o'clock, which when it got dark, nobody was allowed on the streets. You could sit on your porch, we can come out in our yard, but we couldn't go to that street. We'll be arrested. They were evacuating them, you know, in the bus loads. You know, they get so many buses and they take off and stuff. They end up evacuating some of these people to Austin. Some of them went to San Antonio. I remember hearing people saying that they stayed at the military base.
My wife and I decided, okay, we'll go to Houston. We'll go to her mother's. And we did. And they didn't allow us to come back for 2 weeks. I called my neighbor that lives behind me because he had said he wasn't going anywhere. So I called Lionel and I said, well, Lionel, look out your back door, man. Tell me what's going on. He said, man, it's water everywhere. So he went to his back door and he looked out and he said, the hood of your truck is underwater. I said, what? So I knew it was bad.
The last one we had, of course, was Ike, Hurricane Ike. And the way the house is made, it's like straight back. So when the window broke and the door flew open, all the wind just went straight through the house. I took a piece of cardboard and put it against the window. And then I took my bed and my headboard of the bed and slide it up against the window. So that kind of like broke the wind, but it was still seeping in. And the whole time I was praying, like, God, if you let me live through this, I wouldn't stay the next time, you know.
I came back and found out that my house had burned down to the ground. That made me really sad because I had all my photos, my toys, my videos. Everything that I had was inside the house and it burned down to the ground.
I got with the Historical Foundation and they wanted me to go around and see what had happened to the properties. Well, as I began to start into doing that, I mean, something kicked in my mind that you haven't been home yet. You better go to your house and see what happened to your house. And I did. My wife and I came back, and it's a flood of this nature is unimaginable In Ike, in my living room, when you opened up the front door and looked into the living room, the sofa, love seat, chair, table, coffee table, rug was all on the north side of the room, as if somebody had just taken something and pushed it all at the same time. Looked outside and she was sitting on the steps. And I said, well, come on, Leilon. I said, we need to at least start getting some of this stuff out of here, start cleaning up some of this stuff. And all she said was, Leon, I can't do this. And she repeated it again, and she was crying, you know. So at that point, I knew this was something she can't do. She can't deal with this. So we got back in the car and just went back to Houston. Boats on the road, you know, I mean, and when I say that, I say it jokingly, but when you start looking at a 25 or 40 foot sailboat and it's sitting in the middle of Broadway, you know, jet skis sitting in the road, you know, you're having to maneuver around them because they haven't opened the island up so that the equipment can come in to get them off of the island yet.
And I think I remembered one of the little icons they put on their things that they would use for people that were in the house dead. And we'll walk by and, oh, baby, somebody's in that house dead. You could tell by, you know, what FEMA had written on the doors.
You hear scientists talk about like global warming is gonna happen and stuff like that, and you don't believe it at first until you actually see something of it. And I'm just worried for my generation coming up because we only have God knows how much time left on here. And with everything that's going on, I don't want the earth to be in danger.
We have a lot to do with the reason the climate is changing, you know. It's not happening by itself. There are things that we're doing to the planet to cause the climate to change, you know. And even in my head now, I'm thinking, I'm hoping I'm dead and gone if anything happens worse than Ike.